Alright, so I went to go see the Sonic movie about a few minutes ago, and honestly, I gotta say, Sonic Movie 3 was pretty awesome. But it made me came to the conclusion of one solution, and it made me realize something about Shadow Generations, the game to help promote Sonic 3, Sonic X Shadow Generations. It made me realize one thing. Chaos Island doesn't make any fucking sense. Now, here's what I'll say. Chaos Island is a very good stage. Obviously they picked it because it's from Sonic Frontiers, so obviously it has to be in there somewhere. But here's the problem. It's a Shadow stage in Shadow's game and not a Sonic stage. And it doesn't make any sense because Shadow wasn't in Frontiers. So, therefore, this makes no legitimate fucking sense. And that's the problem with this stage that I don't like about it. It doesn't have any reason to be here, and there are plenty of Shadow stages they could have chosen to put in this, like, to begin with. One of the stages that was mostly requested was Westopolis from Shadow the Hedgehog, his first game. I think it made sense for Westopolis from Shadow the Hedgehog, one of his most popular stages, to be in this game. Like, it's just common knowledge. Like, it's just like, the fuck? Like, if they don't want to put Westopolis in here, like, if it was just because of the Tokyo Act 1, then that's completely fine. So if they didn't want to put Westopolis in here, that makes sense. Then why not Asteroid Coaster from Sonic Colors? Because in Sonic Colors, Asteroid Coaster, well, in Sonic Colors DS, Shadow makes an appearance in that specific area. And yeah, I think Asteroid Coaster would be perfect for Shadow because one, it's the best level in Colors. Two, it's quite like an edgy stage. And three, well, Shadow has Doom powers already, so you don't really need the Wisps. Speaking of, that's probably one of the reasons for why people didn't even want Asteroid Coaster, which is fucking bullshit and stupid. The only reason why the Wisps were in Colors is because, or in Generations, is because it's a popular game, and also because Sonic uses them. They would have no reason to be in Shadow Generations, so don't even have them. Which means that, like, just have Shadow use Doom powers and Asteroid Coaster. Like, they're not required to be in the fucking stage. That would be like saying, oh, this is a Sonic Adventure stage, so Sonic has to use the bounce bracelet. Oh, this is from Sonic Adventure, so he has to use the Lightspeed Dash. Well, technically it is in, that one stage from Sonic Adventure. I forgot what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about in Generations. Like, yeah, it just sounds very, very stupid. Like, I don't, like, just because a certain stage or zone is from a certain game doesn't mean a certain, like, gimmick has to be there. The Wisps don't need to be in a Sonic Colors stage that's being reintroduced. Like, they don't have to be. Like, there's no contract saying if you include a Sonic Colors stage in a game that celebrates this character's history, then they have to have a Wisp in there. No, it does not. There's no rule saying that. There's never been a rule established. So don't make that bullshit up, anyone. Because that's stupid and dumb. Like, it makes no sense for, like, genuinely, it's just common sense to put these stages in, like, and also, don't give me that, and also, I don't want to hear any bullshit about colors being cringe and bad, because they included a stage from Sonic Forces and '06. So, the quality of said games doesn't matter. If Shadow the Hedgehog can have a stage from Forces in '06, and let's be honest here, Forces is considered worse than Colors, then that means that Asteroid Coaster would be perfect for Shadow Generations. I'm only saying Asteroid Coaster over Westopolis because, Westopolis is technically in the game through Tokyo Act 1, So I guess maybe that's the reason for why they didn't include it, because they were using the music for the movie Shadow DLC. So it kind of makes sense, even though in a way. But Chaos Island doesn't make any fucking sense for Shadow. Like, that's just stupid. Like, and yeah, I guess you could say that, like, Sonic did fight the Bio Lizard and was in Radical Highway in Sonic Generations 3DS. But you could make, like, an argument that, like, in that game, Sonic fought Final Hazard, and also technically you could play as Sonic in Radical Highway in the multiplayer mode. And also, for Shadow fighting Metal Overlord, Shadow fought Metal Madness in Sonic Heroes. So at least there's some form of explanation of why there's why Metal Overlord is a boss fight in Sonic X Shadow Generations. But Shadow did not make a fucking appearance in Frontiers. And no, any lore bullshit with Black Doom potentially being in here, like any theory bullshit or Shadow being mentioned or anything, that does not count. Like a slight reference to Shadow does not fucking count. I'm sorry, but that is too fucking stupid. Like, that is such a niche thing to like reference. It would be silly. Like, the only way I could have seen this worked is if there was a Shadow DLC in Frontiers prior to this. Like, they made an update for, like, being like, hey, you can play as Shadow as a skin for Sonic in Sonic Frontiers, where you could play as Super Shadow, or it just has Shadow transform into Super Sonic. I'd just rather have him transform into Super Shadow because, you know, canonically it makes sense. That is the only way I would have seen that happening. But no, just fucking randomly Chaos Island. And like I said, I don't have a problem with Chaos Island being here, because it's a good stage. And, you know, Frontiers is a good game. Hell, it's one of my favorite games. But it doesn't make sense for Shadow. Because he was never there. He wasn't there. Oh my god. Like, it's confusing. It's really, really weird and confusing for me. But honestly, that's just one of my biggest peeps of Shadow Generations. But yeah, that's it. Goodbye.